Hey guys, it's Pastor John here with Cormdale Church. We just had our church family meeting last Sunday. I know that some of you weren't able to participate, so I wanted to take just a brief moment to give you some of the highlights of our time together. Mostly these are ministry updates, so you know whatever changes we're making or things that we're focusing on. I'm gonna make sure that you are in the loop on those things. So first of all, we had a ministry kind of focus update. The elders got away for an elder retreat. It was the first elder retreat I think we have done in 10 years. That sounds crazy to say it out loud. We got away to Leavenworth, had some great time, just being together, celebrating, and there was time for us to share our dreams, our hearts for our church. And so I asked each elder to prepare something to share. And throughout the time, there was so much unity in terms of the things that were shared. We didn't talk about these things beforehand. We just came and shared at that retreat. And some of the things that came out was just we want to see a growing love for God. We want to see a love and commitment to mission, and we want to see an emphasis on Christian maturity and discipleship. There was a ton of unity in those things. And so one of the things that we are doing coming out of that retreat is we want to provide resources that are going to clarify and give us a common language around discipleship. What is a disciple? What does it mean to be a disciple? What do disciples do? How are disciples discipled? Who's responsible for discipleship? These are all things that are incredibly important. If we want to continue moving forward as a church together as we grow, it's really important that we are on the same page with discipleship, because discipleship is supposed to be what we're all about. And so you can expect to see resources coming out in the future regarding discipleship. We are working on a booklet that is going to kind of lay out our basic approach and strategy to discipleship. We'll be providing definition for terms as well as our strategy for how we are discipling people. We want everyone to know what that looks like and what that means for our church so that we can continue to grow in our own maturity as disciples together. So you can expect a booklet coming out. We're also working on a sermon series for 2027, where we would just take 2 or 3 weeks together and work through this as a church, because it's really important that we're on the same page here. So you're going to notice an emphasis on discipleship and resources that are going to help us in that area in the future. Along with that is our staffing updates. We have been assessing staffing and resources. By that I mean how our staff uses their energy. And one of the things that we are going to be doing in this new fiscal year, which starts July 1st, is reallocating and refocusing some of our staff energy, as well as bringing on some new staff roles. So what that means is Krista, who works for the academy and also works half time for us. She is going to be redirecting her role with the church specifically and exclusively on kids. That's Kids Community, which is the program we provide on Thursdays, as well as Sunday Kids at Cormdale Church. That's what we offer for kids up to 48 months on Sunday mornings. All of her energy is going to be going to Sunday Kids and Kids Community. Linz, who has been doing lots of different types of things, is going to be refocusing and really focusing deeper on assimilation. And what that means is we want to make sure that when someone comes and visits our church, we're doing everything we can to help them along a discipleship process, whether they're not a Christian yet, or they just became a Christian, or they've been a Christian for 20 years, right? We want to introduce them to our church. We want them to find a place where they can belong and they can serve and connect with other people. We want them to know what our church is about, what it means to be a part of our church. So that's the assimilation process, which is really, really important, because without an intentional and good assimilation process, people tend to fall through the cracks. So she is going to be redirecting a lot of her energy towards assimilation. In order for her to do that, we're taking a lot of the tech stuff, almost all the tech stuff that's been on her plate, off of her plate. And where's that going? Well, that leads me to the next staffing update. Michael DeMille has been working in youth with us for I think it's about a year now, and he has expressed a desire to pursue leadership development and training. He feels a call that maybe God's called him to be a pastor, and so what we're starting here on July 1st is going to be an internship program for him, a leadership development program for him, where he will be running and leading our youth ministry. And also kind of functioning as an assistant to Pastor Rustin and I, and doing a lot of office tasks, figuring out what it's like, to be on staff at a church. And he is going to be taking all that tech stuff off of Lindsay's plate so she can focus on assimilation. And he's going to be taking that role as well. So you'll be seeing him quite a bit. We're excited to have him leading our youth. He's super hungry to learn and grow and be developed, and so excited to have him on staff with us. He will be full time, and then also we are bringing on Pastor Derek in a part-time capacity. He just retired this last year. He's had a heart to contribute more to our church and our mission, and so he is going to be taking the lead with groups in community and member care. And so he's going to be coming on part-time July 1st. I just met with him this morning, actually, and he's going to be he's going to provide leadership and support and direction to all of our groups, our community groups at Coram Deo. And he's also going to be helping in terms of member care. And what that means is that when someone has a need or they're in crisis and they reach out, we've got additional pastors available to serve them. 2 years ago, we had 4 full-time pastors on staff. Today, we have 2 full-time pastors. And so we are very, very excited to have Derek around and helping us out with that. And so if you work with groups, you can plan to be hearing from him, and you'll be seeing him, and he will be more involved with day-to-day stuff in our church. We're very excited for that. So those are all staffing changes that we believe are going to help us focus more intently and deeply on discipleship in our church, helping people to grow in their Christian faith. Okay, so all those things are super exciting. One of the things also that's exciting is that we went through a short series on biblical financial stewardship in March, and have got a good amount of good feedback, positive feedback from people who appreciated that, who never heard biblical teaching on this issue before. Had some emails, said, "Hey, thanks. This is an issue I need to grow in. I'm excited to be taking steps to grow in that area." That's what we want, right? No one has arrived at perfection. We're just taking steps to maturity. And so that's also happening in the area of our church finances. And so we've seen an increase in that. It's very encouraging, not just people giving more, but more people are participating and giving, which is a really, really healthy thing. So if that's you, thank you for that. If you've just been faithful getting us through this all, thank you for that support. It is really encouraging, and it's a sign of health. What we do with our money really reflects where our hearts are at. So that is super encouraging. And then lastly, there's the building update. We are still, the number one need right now is to finalize a refi on our property. We've got the papers submitted to a lender. We're hoping to hear back from them soon. Once we do that, that will really open the door for us moving forward, because Apria, who's renting the space that we're going to remodel, they are going to be leaving their space very soon. We're going to be losing that rent. When we refi our existing mortgage, it'll basically be a wash in terms of our payment will be reduced. And so the money that we're losing in rent from Apria is not really going to affect our budget once that refi goes through. So be praying for that. That needs to go through. It's a big deal for us. Also, we've got some things this fall that we are planning as we approach this remodel project together. We want to be united in terms of mission and, again, discipleship and the legacy that we're leaving for those who will come after us. And so some things that we're doing to make sure that you're aware of, we're going to have a 3-week midweek discipleship. It's going to start on the 8th of September. It'll be the 15th and then the 22nd. That's a Tuesday evening here at the building. And we're going to be working through issues of mission and discipleship together. And we know that can be hard to participate, so we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to be part of this. We are going to provide child care. We're also going to be providing food. So just come. You can bring your family. Again, that's going to start in September. It's 3 weeks as we kind of enter into this new season for our church. And then on the 27th of September, we're going to start a 4-week series on legacy. And again, we're talking about mission, we're talking about faithfulness, we're talking about generosity. As we tackle this project together, we want to make sure that we are grounded in the scriptures. So there's going to be a 4-week series on that. The final fourth week of that series is the 18th of October, and we're going to have an all-church service at Grace Point. They have very graciously offered us their space, so we're going to have an evening service there, an all-church service. We're doing baptisms. We're going to have a party, all food. It's going to be a great celebration as we bring that time to an end, that season to an end. And so those are the big things you got to know. There's other things that we celebrated in our church, but these are the main ministry things we want to make sure that you are aware of. And the best way to make sure you're up to date with all this stuff is to come to the church family meetings. We do them every quarter, and we have a meal together, and we communicate this stuff, and we field questions. So make sure you're at the next one. Hope this was helpful, and we'll see you soon.